Yes, good evening. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to episode 3 of The Collective. We will be joined by Hook shortly, but at the moment we've got Puxty from Liverpool is Red 83. We've got Wolfie from at Forest Fan TV and Kaz from Never a Foul. Two people on this panel have seen their teams win a game this week. Two of us have seen our teams embarrassed, and Hooks, when he joins us, should be embarrassed, but he's slightly down the middle with a draw. Gentlemen, I take it we're all good, so we don't need to do big intros. We happy to get cracking in some football?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, guys, how lucky were Liverpool at the weekend? We'll start off Liverpool getting a 2-0 win at Brentford. I believe they scored in like the 91st
and 94th.
91st and 94th. Wolfie, obviously from a Forest perspective, and you're winning the league this year, so you need to, Liverpool to slip up. Must have been annoying for you, but Puxty, was it ever in doubt? Were you ever worried?
Not really. I mean, we had 37 shots on goal. And it's not very often. Well, no one has had since Opta started their statistics. No team away side has ever had 37 shots on goal in a Premier League game. And do you know what? He actually scored with Liverpool's 36th and 37th shot on goal. We only had 8 shots on target. So a quarter of our shots on target were by Darwin in the last 4 minutes of the game. But the win is the most.
So a deserved win. So a deserved win in your eyes.
Oh yes. We peppered their goal. Their goalkeeper played really well. Darwin should have really had 3 or 4. Tony Gakpo should have scored as well.
Is there no part of you that thinks, though, hang on, we failed to beat Man United. We failed to beat, you then drew your next game, didn't you? You failed to beat Forest. You're then in the 91st minute against Brentford. Are you not sitting there a little bit of you thinking, hang on, we're about to drop points here and this is looking bad?
I can completely understand why that question is there, but no, we have so many shots on goal and it only takes one to score one. So, and we have enough firepower with the 5/6 of the forwards that we have, and not just them, the likes of Sabozlai can score a goal, Harvey Elliott, Jones, they can all score a goal. So if we weren't having that many shots, I would have then been worried. But the fact that we just kept going and going and going against all 3 teams, I wasn't really worried at all. I mean, we got what we deserved, but we didn't get what we deserved against Forest, and we didn't get what we deserved against Man United.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
you didn't. You had one shot, mate. Don't try.
We had one. You had no shots on target in the first half. I love how Liverpool fans have this
one counter attack. Sorry, and that's all you had against us. Other than that,
we didn't.
You didn't really worry about.
No, we didn't. Yeah, the Liverpool fans this week have had some revisionism on that match. We were the better team in the first half. They were the better one in the second half. Ends in a draw.
No. You defended better in both halves.
You're better in the first half, are you? I mean, you were passing the ball fantastically between McAllister and Van Dijk for about half of that half because you didn't know how to get through. So, yeah, if you think that was better, then on you.
You have one attack that was worth anything, and that was the goal.
Really? So the one from Marilla that flashed by the post that Alisson wasn't going to reach, that doesn't count, I guess. But, yeah, we had one attack.
But I wasn't that worried about it because I forgot about it.
I'm sorry,
let me ask
you forget that.
Kaz and Hooks. I mean, we all saw this game last week, the Liverpool Forest game. Welcome, Hooks. Oh, Hooks. He keeps coming in. He keeps going out.
Yeah.
He's just
you read his message, man. I couldn't stop.
Kaz, you must have seen Liverpool versus Forest. Who's right? Were Liverpool the better team in the first half? Or sorry, what happened in your mind?
Forest just defended it really well.
Agreed.
That's it. They did. Cells saved their asses, but Forest are good at defending, so I'm not surprised. But Cells had an absolute blinder. So did Murillo. So did a lot of the players. It kind of reminded me of Ten Hag in his first season with some of the players defending really well. Same thing.
You were doing so well till you said the word Ten Hag.
It's true though. There's so much. Like, hear me out. There's so much similarities between Forest and Man United in Ten Hag's first season. You know, you got Casemiro holding their helm. In terms of, for them, you could say it's whoever you want in that midfield. You know, Varane and Martinez, Murillo. You know, and whoever. You know, the goalkeeper was doing quite well. De Gea saves, Sells, same thing. Marcus Rashford on the break, aka Anthony Elanga, same shit. Garnacho, whatever. You know, Chris Wood up front. I mean, Rashford was up front, to be fair, sometimes, but that's probably the only difference. It's the same thing. Low block, transition, and it's working for them. Because guess what? Nobody respects Forest as a footballing team, not club, team, that they can play this way. Because teams will always want to attack Forest.
And we want them to, and they just fall into our trap every.
I agree. We spoke about this, Wolfie, didn't we? Do you remember when you first kind of come? We were talking about this whole Forest Liverpool thing and what Liverpool struggled to do even in last season. When it does come to low block type situation, they do struggle to be more creative and whatnot. So they're missing. I still think they're missing that. I thought Szoboszlai had a wicked game against Brentford, by the way. Just it won't get mentioned though, even though I don't rate him.
Great player, man.
No, he's not. I don't know about great player, but he had a solid game.
Sorry, he's a great athlete. He's a great athlete. He does a lot of the pressing for us. He will always make the running behind, which creates space. He's a good player. He's a good player.
I think Forest deserved to win.
Go on, Hooks. Go on.
I think Forest deserved to win against Liverpool, personally. Like, yeah, I know Liverpool had the better second half, but I think, like, the way, like, it was bound to happen. It's the way that Forest play. Like, Forest invite pressure. They're super confident in the way they set up defensively. So I'm not surprised that Liverpool attacked more than Forest in the second half. But I think overall, the in terms of game plans and sticking to it, I think Nottingham Forest deserved more than a point. You know, I guess Forest will come away and say they was happy to get that point because obviously it's Liverpool. But, you know, Liverpool just getting lucky, man. Like, I didn't watch the Brentford game, but all I know is Nuno saved you, man. Just like,
it's not luck, though, is it?
What's the difference between Nuno saving you, man, in stoppage time and Ahmad saving Man United in the last 12 minutes against Southampton? Like, I don't know what the difference is.
The difference is there's a lot more pressure right now for Liverpool to stay on top.
Exactly. No, you got relegation pressures. So
we'll right with that, man.
They'll be all right. They won't go down.
But regardless of that, there's a lot more pressure at Liverpool right now. I think Man United's a bigger pressure as a club in a whole, but fighting for a Prem, man. You can't knock those results. I'm not looking at that. I think you've been not as good as you have been, in my opinion, in terms of like breaking teams down, scoring loads of goals. Salah, you know, second half Salah's coming in fruition again. You know, that's another conversation. Yeah. And you struggle without him scoring. It kind of shows you need something else in there other than Salah.
Is it a good thing though, guys? Like I mean, Liverpool haven't been playing well in terms of in the last 4 or 5 games. It hasn't been like a team where you go, "Wow, they're scary." But no one's beating them, right? No one's beating them in these games. So even when they've not been at their best, they're grinding out draws. They're still 6 points clear, right? With a game in hand. Is that the sign of champions?
No, because Arsenal are doing the exact same thing, and I'm being told that Arsenal's are deadest team in the world. Whole club's dead, deadest attack. You know, midfielders are dead. Everybody's dead. But when
you're not doing the same thing, though.
Liverpool do the exact same thing. I haven't lost a game in the Premier League in the last 12. But apparently, for doing the exact same thing that Liverpool does, my team is dead.
Yeah, but the difference is a draw is basically like a loss, and they've got a new coach. They've got no new players pretty much on Chiesa.
You see that excuse?
Yeah, but you know what? There's an expectation on Arsenal. This is what we try to get over to you, Hook. Sometimes it doesn't correlate or in any shape, way, or form. You are when Man City finally fell off. Now they're only 6 points behind you. That's the difference.
What does okay? If Man City
you're meant to be the team. You're meant to be the team, innit?
If no, we're not meant to be anything.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
This season, you should have been fighting for that title.
You're
and
meant
you're
to
not.
be that guy.
We are
You're not
fighting for the
that guy.
title. I'm 6 points behind.
You don't even like your own manager. What do you mean you're fighting? What are you fighting for?
I'm 6 points behind. If I'm 6 points behind Liverpool and that's too far away, then
possibly 9
6 points behind me is too far away. Make your mind up.
Yeah, but and then in one game, in one game when Man City win the next game and they got a few more, they're 3 points behind you. And then you know that whole remember that
hang on, Hooks. You played the same amount of games
as
as City. You ain't played the same amount of games as Liverpool.
And again, like Tottenham found out, Goodison Park is not a guaranteed 3 points.
I'm not saying it is a guarantee, but it still could be.
Let's not use my team as a benchmark of anything. Let's not use my team. My team are not a benchmark for anything.
I've had enough. For this whole season, I've had to watch Liverpool not really be that much better than my club. But my club, it's like I should be relegated.
It sounds like you've been taking them deluded pills again.
Them man are high flying. Okay, everyone's saying Arsenal's dead this year. I'm only 6 points behind Liverpool, the high-flying team that's apparently already won the league. The math does not make sense.
Yeah, but at the same time,
you're not reading math. You're reading something else because you're not putting everything into context. Like you may not have lost in the last 12 games, but the season didn't start 12 games ago.
I've only lost twice.
How many times have you lost this season?
Twice in the Premier League.
Twice. And how many have you drawn?
6, 7, something like that.
So we've drawn half of the games that you have, and we've lost half the games that you have. So you're still expecting Arsenal to win the league and jump above Liverpool when we've still only lost one game.
Should you ask a relevant question? Ask a relevant question, and with Hooks because he loves to do the context.
We've actually, sorry.
Oh, go on.
We've drawn 3 more games than you've drawn, and we've lost 1 more game than you've lost, and we've won 3 less games than what you've won.
You conceded
by the way, I've conceded
more.
1 more goal. Conceded 1 more goal,
we've scored more.
And you've scored 7 more goals than me. My attack is dead. Remember, my attack is finished. Havertz dead. Trossard dead.
I don't disagree with that.
Wait. Let's ask the real question.
I've only scored 7 less than you.
Let's ask the real question then, Hooks. Do you believe you're going to still challenge till the end? Like, do you still believe you're going to, in your expectations, win the Premier League? Do you believe you're going to win the league?
I expect for my club to win the Premier League.
Don't care about expectations.
However, if we do not go in January and upgrade in the forward areas like we need to, then my belief will be gone unless they show me something different on the pitch. But I think we're already, like people say, Liverpool didn't sign anybody. It's all well and good that Arsenal signed players. Do you know how many men we got injured?
Yeah,
everybody's injured.
But the amount of men that have been subtracted from my club is crazy, bro.
You know what is
don't even matter.
You know what is, Hooks, I think you say expectation, and that's exactly what I was just talking about what 10 minutes ago, about expectations of what is of Arsenal. We don't put you in the pedestal of 4th place choice anymore. You're not 5th choice. We don't rate you like that. We rate you on a higher spectrum. Hence, when we do cuss off City, they're on a higher spectrum, but yet they sit only 6 points behind you. Stay humble, eh? But on that notice as well, but it is though, because it is only that, because you're saying it's only
between me and Liverpool.
No, because you just said you're only, keyword only, 6 points behind Arsenal, but at the same breath, you could say Dead Man City are only 6 points behind you. And on that again, what I'm trying to allude to, you don't believe in it. Let's be real. It's a fake belief if you think you're going to win this league currently with Saka out for the next, and you called it, he's out for the season. Let's be real. You're not buying anyone of significance because you've got 10 days left and you can only manage 1, right?
You don't know. We don't know.
And on that, when we expect you, the bridesmaids of the last 2 seasons before this season, you have finished 2nd. You was high flying football and everything like that. The one team we expected to capitalize on a Man City drop off, a little bit of a Chelsea rise, and all the other mid teams become a little bit better. Forest is obviously the new flavor of the season and whatnot. Whatever, however you want to label it. We expect you to be on top and capitalizing. And of course, you will allude to, again, to use that key word, injuries, which is fair enough, to be fair, because if Saka was around, you'd probably be 6 points better. But this is the case, man. This is the spectrum we put you onto.
Can I ask a question?
But then it's a squad game, right?
Can I ask this question? I mean, I guess the question is here, if we're talking about the gap is only 6 points that way to Liverpool, and then the gap is only 6 points to Man City. I guess the question with gaps when we're talking about them is, it's all well and good saying, oh, it's only X amount of points. It's, are the team chasing good enough to close that gap?
Yeah.
Now, what I mean by that is, if we look at Liverpool's games coming up, Liverpool have got some tough fixtures coming up.
Yep.
Now, please ignore my first one that I'm about to say, because I don't think this
season.
will be. Right? Liverpool's next, I'm just Premier League games, right? We're just Premier League, right? So Liverpool have got Ipswich at home next, right? So you would fancy that Liverpool will grab 3 points. After that, they're then away at Bournemouth, which is a tricky game. Bournemouth have beaten massive clubs there like Spurs, Arsenal, City. Yeah, you see
they
what
beat
I mean?
Liverpool as well. Salah missed a penalty there a couple back, didn't he?
They've then got Everton away in the league, followed by Wolves at home, City away, Newcastle at home. So it's not all plain sailing for Liverpool. My question is this: if Liverpool were to drop 2 or 3 games, either a couple of draws or a defeat or 2 in that 6-7 game period, are any of the teams below them good enough to just keep churning out results? Because you can't draw, right? You've got to, if they draw, you've got to churn out a win. Are Arsenal good enough to do that, Hooks?
Look at Arsenal's fixtures. I don't need to give an opinion on this, because I think if everyone looks at Arsenal's fixtures, they'll be like, oh damn, damn.
How long has Saka been out for in the Premier League?
I don't look at your fixtures.
Since the Crystal Palace.
How many games ago was that? 2, 3?
I think 4.
Right, okay, so eight games previous to that, you had your fully fit team. So I get where your mindset.
No, we didn't, because Odegaard was out for 12 games before that.
But now you've got even Saka being
out
and Saliba being out. Do you really think you're going to be able to keep chasing?
Saliba's gone for 2 weeks.
Right, so he's going to miss 2 Premier League games at least.
Yeah, but the thing is, for me, I'm not worried about the next 2 games that I have as an Arsenal fan.
Right.
For me,
in the league,
the next two league games for me are W's.
So hang on, Hooks, hang on. Your next 2 league games, you've got Wolves away.
Yeah.
Draw.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So is everyone saying Arsenal will get 3 points against Wolves away?
Of course.
I would like to think they would get 3 points against Wolves.
Okay. So we can give them 3 points. Your next, hang on, their next Premier League game, which you're saying is a W, is Man City.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as easy. I don't think it's as easy as
it
says
Arsenal,
anymore.
But
where?
I mean, Man City are just starting to, cogs are starting to turn. They're starting
injuries are back. All of that's back. And by the time they get to you, they'll have another signing in the door.
All right, and then 2 points at him.
So might we?
Yeah, no, you might, but they got, you know what it is? I think momentum's a big thing in it, Hooks, and obviously confidence. Yeah. At the same time, I think until then, we can't really judge, because next week, I can expect Man City to drop a howler, but do you know what I mean? Like, we don't know, we need more of a basis than 6-0 against Ipswich. But Foden's coming on form at the moment. Haaland's getting to the rhythm scoring again. Like, Ruben Diaz is back fully fit for them. Kovacic is playing out of his skin at the moment. Like, they're building that bit of confidence.
Starting and playing 90 minutes again. You know,
it's just one of those. But then again, when it comes to big fixtures, Arsenal do really well. So there you go.
But it was just the way you said, fully expect. So you fully expect 6 points from your next 6.
From my next 2, I expect 3. Yeah, I expect 6 points. Look. I don't fear City this season. If this game here was going to the Etihad, it would be a different story. But coming to I beat them here last season. I'm pretty sure I beat them before as well.
I hear you, but wouldn't you say that, guys? If we just turn this to Man City a tiny bit, aren't Man City just starting to do what Man City always do come January, beginning of February anyway? Isn't this when Man City? It's slightly different this year because they've fallen so far off. But that's now 5 Premier League games, is it? With 3 wins, 2 draws. They're just starting to
Yep.
put on point after point.
Which is what they do every single year.
Are we counting them out completely of everything? Are we like?
No.
I mean, are we counting them out of finishing second, third, fourth? I don't think they'll win it. I think that's a tall order.
I'd like to say I'd count them out of winning it.
No, you can't. You can't.
The thing is,
they're 12 points behind.
What you can get from Man City in the next 4 games, I think they've got 4 out of the top 6. I think they've got Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. I can't remember the other one.
They got Chelsea at home, Arsenal away, Newcastle at home, Liverpool at home, Tottenham away, Forest away. That's their next 6.
So what they could do is literally hand the title to Liverpool, but they could drag themselves into it. Because if they go on a W streak,
no one's handing the title to us when we're already top. Don't be stupid.
You're not. Let me finish my point. If they go and win those games, then they will create a gap between you and second place, even bigger than is currently now. That's my point.
We have to win our games, so it's us doing it, not them.
Yeah, well, assuming that. No, it would be them doing it. If they were to go and then beat those teams, obviously you being in there is one they would, you see how that one goes.
But them
what I'm saying is, my overall point here is that Man City are going to have a say in it. Whether or not they can catch everyone up or catch Liverpool up, they are definitely about to have a major say in how that top 4 is going to look because of the fixtures they've got coming up.
They've got everyone, haven't they? They've got all the big clubs. They've got Forest, Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle. And then even after that, they've then
Chelsea
got
as well,
Chelsea as well. And then after that, they've got Leicester, Man United. So, I mean,
let's not forget they've got Champions League within that, guys.
I still think they'll come back and finish second.
But you can't discount the fact they've got Champions League and they're struggling. So they're going to go full out to get qualify, aren't they? So
this whole notion when we say teams will just go full out, and when has Pep ever done that? When has Pep ever?
Pep's just never been this far behind, though.
Yeah, but what does that mean? So you think suddenly then he'll get to a weekend game and go, right, let's not go full tilt because we've got
no. I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying that yes, okay, they are more than capable of winning the games that we just said in the Premier League, but sandwiched in between all those games, they've got Champions League games where they have to win. They can't draw any of them. They have to win to be able to qualify for the next round of the Champions League.
Yeah, one of them's against.
But they're not.
The next game's against PSG. And that's the game
one
as well.
They haven't got Champions League games really sandwiched in their Puxty. If you have a look, they've got PSG, what's that, tomorrow night or Wednesday night? Right. Then they've got Chelsea, then Bruges. Then after that, they haven't got a Champions League game.
Unless they don't get in the top 16. Then they'll have to qualify for the next one. Which will be sandwiched within those games.
I understand that, but depending on who they get, you might fancy. Listen, if I'm, when people are going, "Oh, City won't qualify," I would fancy Man City over 2 legs against most teams in European football. Who they're going to get in a playoff, wouldn't you? If you were,
I thought if they get an Atletico
and then Milan, an extra 2 games,
Madrid. Yeah, I think they get knocked out of Europe. I think they'll be. I don't think he cares about Europe as much this season. I'll be honest. I think because the squad is so
you might
thin,
be right. Yeah.
The squad's quite thin for him. I think he expects to always win, but if he goes out, I don't think he'd care as much because it's kind of classified now as a rebuild now for them, isn't it?
And as it stands, you're looking at probably if it stopped now, it's either Bayern, Madrid, as in Atletico, or Milan, AC Milan. That would be. I would
fancy them to batter Milan over 2 legs. If I'm
into Milan,
yeah. No,
AC.
Yeah, AC. I'd fancy them as well, but not in.
Yeah. I fancy them against Dortmund
the
over 2 legs.
Madrid,
AC over 2 legs.
Madrid and Bayern. Bayern have got heritage.
I don't know if I rate Bayern as much as next people do.
I agree.
This season.
Is that because they slapped you around last season?
Not even that. To be fair, it's funny you say that. They just about won against us at their own stadium. Actually, they got pummeled by Man City that same season, I believe. I might be wrong. No, their defense is just crap.
Does anyone? Last question on Man City. Does anyone think Man City won't qualify past the group? Won't qualify to the next round of the Champions League?
I hope not.
If they don't get 3 points against PSG, then they probably won't. No.
And PSG are sitting 25th now. They have to win.
depends on
They're
other
out
teams.
of- yeah.
You could say that about City as well, right? Like if we look at it, right? So City need one win from their last 2 games to guarantee being in the playoffs minimum, right? So to get in the playoffs, they need to, or the 2-legged affair, whatever the terminology we're using, they need 1 win, which is Club Brugge. I mean, let's be fair, they're playing Club Brugge at the Etihad. I would fancy them to
be
beat
3 points.
That should be 3 points. I fancy them to beat PSG
I
as
wouldn't.
well.
I wouldn't route Club Brugge. You know they've already conceded. What is it? I don't remember checking. They don't score a lot, but they don't concede a lot either.
They've
I know, but
8.
Can we really
go.
see Man City? Let's assume PSG beat Man City, Kaz, right, on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then Man City are left needing 1 win to guarantee playoffs. Do we really think that Club Brugge are going to come to the Etihad and Man City aren't going to score them 3 or 4 nil?
We said the same thing about Feyenoord, and look what happened.
You can't discount PSG tomorrow. If PSG win tomorrow.
That's not the important point. The important point is, where does that Club Brugge game land? It lands between the Chelsea and the Arsenal game. That's why
it's all about
Sure, but
I think they land it. Come
that's
on,
life,
man.
right? City are used to that,
land
right?
I get that, but I'm saying,
I think they land
if they beat PSG, they could rest for the home game. Yeah, fresh for Arsenal. If they don't and they got a run of full squad, Hooks is going to be licking his lips a little bit.
Yeah, but
I mean,
that's what I was trying to say. Like, it depends on the Champions League.
But we can
you say rest players. I mean, are we talking about what? So if I have to rest Doku, but I put in Savio, like, do you know what I mean? If I rest,
I get what you're saying. It's our wet dream. I get it, but from their perspective, still.
Can we add another factor? Like, Stuttgart are playing pretty much the second worst team in this whole table, in this whole division as well. So they go 2 points above City, and whoever their last game is, it could they could just be forced out into the relegation zone. Before you know it, Zagreb's got Arsenal, and I think they'll. Is that right? And I think Arsenal beat them. I don't know who their last game is, but
Girona are away.
It'll come down to, they could just be forced out with them. I don't know who PSV got. I'm pretty sure PSV's got Liverpool in one of the legs.
They have,
and Liverpool might not even care about that leg. And then
we've got Lille tomorrow, so PSV's the last game.
It'll be. You know what it'll be. You know what's funny? It will just be a great spectacle just to see them have a go at the end while other teams are also trying to do the exact same thing. If they get kicked, you'd probably want them to stay in the Champions League, no Man City, so they have an extra couple games.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm going to make an outrageous statement. I think Man City will win the Champions League this year.
Yeah, can we end the stream, Dave?
I think they'll win it. I think it's one of those years where there's adversity, and I think they're just going to start clicking at the right moment. I think they've started. Listen, Kaz, the last 3-4 games I've been watching them, some of the football they're playing.
But who they played?
Yeah, sure, of course, but
yeah.
Listen,
and they've only won one Champions
you
League.
said it just now.
Like they've been there, done that.
Yeah, they got a click. They got a click.
Momentum.
Momentum
is a wonderful thing in football.
I hear it. But if you look at if you look at the sides they have played, Leicester, Ipswich, and whatnot, it's all fodder. Do you know what I mean? At the same time, we need more of a sample size, in my opinion, to see if they got this momentum again. Do you know what I mean? Like who is it? Because even Dap says, yeah, but we played shit. Like as in West Ham, we played crap. Cool, we won, but we played crap.
They played well, I thought, against Ipswich. They
played. He said, I'm not even confident for PSG, but he's going there anyways. He's going to the away game. He's there with big steam on it now.
Chelsea will be the good test. He said, against Chelsea.
He keeps saying, I need to see more. I need to see more. Like I'm not convinced at all.
I just find it so confusing.
At the end of the day, all they can do is put points on the board, right? All they can do is start.
And they were 2-0 up against Brentford.
If they go from five games without defeat to 7 games without defeat, suddenly you've got to remember what this isn't. These are top players. You know, we can't.
I don't think they can do draws. I don't think they can do draws.
You know what is W's. You know what is Savva as well in the Champions League this time around. They don't have Kyle Walker to save their ass. And I don't believe in their defense of Rico Lewis, Akanji, Ruben Diaz is probably their mainstay. John Stones is always injured. You know, no Rodri. They're gonna feel it against somebody like Inter Milan this time around would probably eat them up in 2 legs. I think Atletico would eat them up in 2 legs because once you do, I need to see a side that likes to press. And I know when you press City now, they don't like it at all.
Yeah.
At all. So I think the key word is sample size.
But we say sample size, but
This season.
nobody believes in Arsenal, but Arsenal have gone.
I believe more in Arsenal this year in Champions League than Man City.
Undefeated in the Premier League. We talk about momentum. Arsenal have gone 12 games undefeated in the Premier League. We talk about how Man City resurgence and Liverpool they're doing sick. In the last 5 Premier League games, we have the exact same form.
Yeah, but you're undefeated. You're undefeated is not a winning run.
Exactly.
It's not a winning run.
It's not a winning run. You don't win more than 3 games in a row at a time. You have a blip somewhere.
But theirs is not a winning run either.
Yeah, but I don't believe in Man City. Yeah, but the thing is, again, sample size and all this stuff. I don't believe in Man City winning this league this year. I don't. I do believe they will hit some form 100% because it is, and they've got the history to back it up. Last season, season before, whatever. You don't. But the only thing you do have on you for me is the fact you went to Dubai last year and you had an amazing run for yourselves. Bro, it was an amazing run. Yet to see that at the moment. Do you get what I mean? But in the if we're talking the Champions League, I thought we were just talking Champions League. I don't believe in City doing it. Daps don't believe in it. None of them do. But football's a funny old game, innit? So
it is.
What? Tottenham could win the Europa League this year, right, Tab?
Yeah. We'll move on to We'll move on to some transfer talk, guys. Just before we do, all I'll say is sometimes it's not about when you have your good runs in September, October, November, December. It's about the business end of the season, right? And it's what club can do it then. That's what separates the men from the boys. Look, talking of transfers, guys, Duran, West Ham. Have just had a £57 million bid rejected by Aston Villa for John Duran. I mean, showing ambition from West Ham's owners going after John Duran. I mean, I think it would be absolutely brilliant if they could get him over the line, right? In terms of what Villa. No.
No, well, I've got to be honest. I think the bid of 57 million, there's no way on earth he's going for that amount of money. So I think it's showing ambition, but knowing they're never really going to get that deal done. 57, the Geezer's just signed a new contract, right, till 2030.
Sure.
And, he's not going to go for 57 million. If he's going to another Premier League club, he's going for 75 plus, no doubt in my mind. I think it shows ambition.
How's he worth 75 plus? Already?
Because he just signed.
I don't know where this has come from, Wolfie. Like,
I can add some context.
Where did he become? I like John Duran. I think John Duran's going to be a really good striker. But when we're going 75 million for a guy that isn't the number 1 striker at his own football club, that just seems crazy to me.
That makes him nearly as good as Darwin Núñez on a monetary value, don't it?
He's a very good talent, but I don't think this is showing ambition. This is an act of desperation. It's been 20 days and now you want to go buy a striker. What? Because Fulkrug's injured, Antonio's out, bless him as well. Bowen's out as well, and they realized. I think they got no choice. The thing is, they were chasing this guy in the summer, but they didn't put them. Why didn't they put 57 million up then? But only now. So if you believed in it, you would have got him back then. Because we love to talk about Indios as well, which we do criticize for not getting rid of Ten Hag when needed to. But this is the exact same thing. They could have made this offer at the start of this window. You know what this is? If you really planned for this guy to show ambition, you would have done it 15 days ago, 20 days ago.
I think it's a bit different though, because they had a change in manager, and maybe Graham Potter was like, "This is the guy that I really want."
Oh, you could be right. You could be right. Mm-hmm. That's a good point, to be fair.
So they're looking at that Andre Silva now, aren't they, from Leipzig?
They should go get
a game.
They're linked to Taiwo Owani from us, and I think that's falling through. But Hooks, why are you guys not going for Duran?
This is what I want to know. Because do you know what? Yeah, for me, I'm under no illusion. West Ham are not getting Duran for 57 million.
I don't think you'd want to go. Why would you? You're a better club at the moment. Why would you?
He did all that in the summer, didn't he?
Surely the idea of being playing devil's advocate. Surely, I get it, right? The negatives are, well, West Ham aren't as good as Villa. Surely the positives are, you go to West Ham, you are the number 1 striker playing week in, week out. You're the the new manager's first signing. So you're the guy that he's wrapping his arms around and saying, I'm building my team around you. Plus, guys, just quickly, This is how mad we're going, right? We're all talking about 57 million won't get this guy. And I agree with you. But this is a guy that's got 13 Premier League goals in his career, right? And we're all going 75 million.
What's his goal to minute ratio, though? Like,
no, yeah. I agree. I just think it's mad how football has gone to this point.
Yeah. Look what we done with. It's the same thing. What we done with Hoyland, basically. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But if I'm Duran, if you're around Duran, you know that in world football, there's not many top strikers or prospects. They're talking about Liam Delap for fuck's sake, because he's got a bit of decent link-up play, and he reminds you of the old school Premier League flipping strikers. Liam Delap, I think he'd be a solid player. But even they're asking for stupid money. So if you're looking at Liam Delap and thinking, well, I've got more goals than him, even though he's at a better team in terms of Duran and being a bit better player, he's going for 50. If you're his agent, you're thinking, well, top teams are going to be out for you. Why would you?
Though, I think the reason for that though, is the Premier League.
Yeah, but why would you go to a West Ham knowing?
No. What my point is they always seem to cost more if it's going from one Premier League club to another Premier League club. I think if, for example, Napoli or Atletico Madrid, Barcelona came in for 57 million, the deal would probably get done. I reckon it doesn't for that price if it's a Premier League club to Premier League club. That's the only reason why I said.
But look at the clubs you just mentioned. Those clubs are more realistic to come in for about one of these around the world, let alone the Prem.
That's what I mean, though. Like, I think it gets done at that deal.
They just don't. They don't tell me stability. That West Ham, they have one great season. It's like Man United. They have one good season for their standards, and they drop off, and then they go back up again, and they drop off. It's just it's a merry-go-round.
If they were to get him, Kaz, if they were to get him, this is to everyone. If they were to get him, though, that's a very good statement signing for West Ham, right? To say, hey, this is our number one centre forward for the next 3, 4, 5 years, or
what does it change for them this season?
Get sold.
It doesn't change much for them this season.
Output, man.
A lot, man.
No, I think this season West Ham will end up mid-table, bottom half.
Out there as well.
I'm just saying, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. This is PR. This is PR.
No, but you know what it is?
Got that money. They ain't got that money.
No, but you got to think of is like it's not just Duran. It's okay. West Ham in January, Potter's gone. Cool. Bring me Duran. Cool. Let's see how high we finish for the remainder of the season. Cool. Finish somewhere between 9th and 12th. All right, cool. Summer. Build upon it. Then West Ham will keep on building. Like West Ham recently won a European trophy, and they're a London club. That counts for a lot. Their stadium is the London Stadium. The Olympic Stadium, whatever it is in Stratford.
London Stadium.
That counts for a lot when trying to bring in new players. So it's more about them going out. And
Sullivan ain't gonna pay the money, man.
But the thing is, but we don't
hang
know.
on, if they've paid the bid, if they've made the bid, you're saying the money's not there for West Ham.
No, I'm not saying it's not there. I'm saying he won't pay that. He won't pay that.
You know what I think?
He's not. Speak to West Ham fans on this. If you think West Ham fans believe that he will fork the money out for a Duran, 57 million, which he would look at as
what if it was accepted?
Could
what do you mean? You can't say, hang on. We can't rewrite history. We can't say they've put a bid in for 57 million, but they're not willing to pay 57 million.
This is, you know what this smells of? This is Suarez going to Arsenal all over again.
Yes.
40 million and a penny. You know what I'm saying?
Man United are finally looking at Douglas Luiz. Thank fuck.
I heard he's going back to Man City.
Said who?
Telegraph Docker. It's apparently we're willing to pay the option fee and obviously Man City.
I've heard he's going back to Man City, bro.
Yeah, but what you've heard is probably not what you've read correctly. No offense. This is what they've said is that where you want an option and an obligation. Man City don't want to do that at all. If not, they'll explore other options. That's exactly what was said.
Don't worry, Forrest are looking at him, but
actually, I saw an off link, but that was like 5 days ago. What? Wait, can I ask you a question quickly? Actually, both of yous. Sorry, I thought Douglas Luiz would be perfect for your club, Puxty. I thought he would be mint for you. He gives me the Gravenberch mold. Do you know what I mean? And even for you, Forest lot, if you want to show ambition, look, Yates is gone. He shouldn't be starting for you. He shouldn't be starting for you. But he's been Captain Magnificent for you boys. I'd admit he got you up in the end.
I wouldn't go that far.
But I would say so. But he's got you up after like how much crap you lot have been through with flipping. What's his name back then? Old Man United flipping assistant manager, Steve McLaren, and all that crap. You've been through hell. Do you know what I mean? Show some ambition in it. Where's Sangare?
With Douglas Luiz, you got to think about him in
even
three
Spurs.
molds.
Spurs need this guy.
Molds. He was sensational. He was sensational for the first half of last season. This is off back of talking to a lot of Villa fans. He fell apart and fell away second half of last season.
That's because his head was turned though.
Yeah, but all right, turn his head to Juventus. He's had 2 starts in 13 appearances. And they went
Thiago Motta's whole way of playing is so specific.
I know, but still, there has to be questions asked, not just about the 2 and 13, but what happened in the second half against Villa. I know you're saying head turns, but still.
You know what? It reminds me a little bit of Eriksen. When Eriksen was at Tottenham, he was mint. This guy was wicked player. Goes to Inter Milan, doesn't hit the heights really. Goes back to the Prem for Brentford, looks like he just fits like a glove again. Obviously, United is obviously all downhill from there. I just think Douglas Luiz's game. I've seen enough at Villa. I've seen way more than enough at Villa. To say he's a Premier League solid player, got good set pieces on him. He's just a great. You've got Danilo, who I think is wicked, and you've got Sangare.
Yeah.
Sangare just can't stay fit for someone. But he's someone I wanted, by the way, 2 seasons ago.
Looked at him as well.
PSV. Yeah, good player. Proper player.
Let me ask Wolfie a question. I want to ask Wolfie a question. It was well reported that you guys were looking at Douglas Luiz. I'm just going to, again, just for devil's advocate, is there something to say that bringing in a player like that, when you're having such a great season that you are, could bringing a player like that in disrupt what you've done? You know, we have seen this in the past with clubs, haven't we? Where they're having a phenomenal season, you buy a few players, and suddenly you're now changing the dynamic of the first team. Is there that you could have that? As much as we're talking about Yates and Anderson, they've done bloody brilliantly for you.
Yeah. Specifically with him, yes, because his comments coming out, Forest offered him and he said, I'm not going to respond. And then reports came out saying that he wants to hold out for better offers from clubs like Man City and Man United. And as far as once he said that, he can go fuck himself for all I care. So I'm not interested in him. Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, because he knows what's coming.
Yeah, he wants another relegation battle. Exactly.
No, anyway, well, you'll be there next season, mate.
Yeah, but it's bigger picture, isn't it?
Bigger picture.
Like
your point is bang on. No, your point is bang on. If that's the attitude, if say Man City don't come in for him, and he ends up with just Forest as the offer, and he picks Forest, I still don't want him because he's going to come in and disrupt. He thinks he's bigger than what we're doing. So as far as I'm concerned, he can go do one. Because I agree with you. The dynamics have to be spot on. They have to be spot on.
Yeah.
I'm not.
But it's an interesting one because we all know where we are in the kind of food chain, right? Like, for example, with Kolo Muani. I'm not saying I wanted Muani and I'm going to lose any sleep over him not coming, but the moment I see that Juventus want Muani, I, as a Spurs fan, go, well, that's, do you know what I mean? Like, well, that's us out the race then, because I know that Juve are a bigger club chasing for Champions League football. It's the history they've got, the titles they've won, you know, and it's going to be the same, right? Like Forest having a good season, but a player like Luis is surely going to look around and go, well, it's still Man United or it's still Liverpool versus Forest.
It shows you if he's interested in Man U, money hungry.
No, it's not, because we haven't been forking out mad wages like you think we have. Go check it for yourself. It's all there. We've been getting rid of all of that, doing a whole different scenario now.
No, there's no these mad wages you got rid of in this window.
Well, this window is different. You're talking about last window.
No, I'm saying this window. How many of these mad wages have you got rid of?
Well, at the moment,
just shipped out Anthony, and you're paying for him to play.
Yeah. Well, half of it, but I'm just saying that goes to show you don't want him. Casemiro's set to leave. Whether it's now at the end of the season, he's going. That's shifting. Rashford, another one on hefty wages. Whether he can go or not, we'll see. Is going to be going. Sancho and Duran didn't renew his deal. Hefty wages out. Sancho, regardless of, I don't like the fact that he's at Chelsea, but wages out. Eriksen not renewing his deal. Nothing. Wages out. The only one that's been there is Maguire. The only one that's really left is on the 200 pluses is Mason Mount, if I'm correct, and Bruno Fernandes. And Mason Mount, that should never have happened in the first place. And that wasn't any of. I mentioned Rashford. We're still trying to get rid of him, but at the moment he can't find his club. So there we go.
Yeah, but he's on a long-term contract.
Yeah, but if you go off of Man United's new play under Ineos, by the way, which is a key word again, like to admit, all the players that they have kind of signed, I think the only one that's a bit mad for me is a little bit like Lenny Yoro, putting him on some like 100. But even Ahmad's on like 90k, his new deal. The old regime would have gave him 200k straight off the bat just for scoring a few goals.
Oh, right, Ahmed. So
you got to look at all the new players with all their new wages. It's nothing like that.
That causes issues because if you're gonna see Bruno Fernandes stinking out the house, being on what's he on 350,
300,
and you've got whatever it is, and then you've got let's say Kobe Mainoo.
He's only got 2 years. He's got 2 years left. Actually, he's got 1.5 years
left. Got Kobe Mainoo starting to break through as an example, and he says, "I want a new contract." He's in contract talks, isn't he? But he's gonna be like, "I'm playing better than Bruno. He's on 350."
Yeah, but at the same time, if Mainoo doesn't uphold to what United want respectfully, and he wants a certain amount, then he can leave as well. So for me, it's like you have to set an example at one point. You can see what the project's trying to do or what movement or direction they're trying to push towards.
Yeah, you need to be real, man. You need to be real.
I am being realistic. You have to start somewhere.
No. Listen, the reason these players came in were because of money, right? Because you've been washed up for 10 years.
Beforehand,
yes. So if you're now not offering them money, then what are you going to attract them with? This is why you signed no one so far this window.
This is the difference. No, the difference. No, that's a whole
still
different
Man United though, Wolfie.
Regardless of this is what is Hooks. He's gonna do this to you in a minute as well. It's the saltiness. The fact he can't stand that his club was once on top once upon a time, with Liverpool, and they fell off. And all of a sudden, a guy from Bedford started supporting Forest. So on that notice, glory hunting because they won a couple champs or whatever. Regardless of that, let me finish. Because funny thing is, you tried to use that line, but yet you glory hunted yourself. See, the glory didn't sustain.
I glory hunted before I was born.
The thing that Forest were meant to be, he wished that happened to his club and not Man United. He's been bitter ever since, and he can't stand the fact that even though he's on top of the world at the moment, the same thing with Newcastle and everything else is the fact that a top club like Arsenal, like Man United, like Chelsea, no matter what position they're in.
What's this got to do with you attracting players?
Wait. No matter what happens, if we go into a bidding war with you and put up the same offer, no matter what happens, they will always choose us over you. And you can't stand that. And you hate it. And you admit it. This is it. And no disrespect to Forest, but go liquidate more of your debts from your owners so you can afford it.
You
talk about ambitions of Spurs, but how about you break your own duct and show some ambition then with wages?
This is big talk for someone sitting in the bottom half of the table.
But
who still can't answer my question. What are you attracting them with?
What do you mean? The project, bro. The overall project.
The project is worse under Amorim than it was under Ten Hag.
He hasn't got any players, though.
What project? You know why this doesn't make sense, because if you really think about it, Arsenal was still able to attract the likes of Ozil, the likes of Aubameyang when we was down and out in the mud.
You paid them, bro.
There's just certain but like we weren't the only people.
You broke your cap.
We were not for Aubameyang. And the thing is, this is the thing. Like, I feel like teams like Arsenal, teams like United, teams like Liverpool. And to a degree, I believe teams like Chelsea as well, their clubs will always have a certain allure for players because no matter how far they fall down, there's still going to be that kind of thing in players' minds of, I can join them at their worst and help them get back to their best because they, like, it's in English football, that's just what it is. When you think of the Premier League, you think of Manchester United, you think of Liverpool, you think of Chelsea. You think of Arsenal. It just is what it is. We're just the biggest clubs in the Premier League at the moment.
It's not true, bro.
And what Manchester United are doing right now, and this is why I personally think is a very easy conversation with Mainoo, especially around because you brought up the point about Fernandes, is they're going through a rebuild. No matter what you think about Bruno Fernandes, he's one of their older players. Like, he's been there the longest. It's like, okay, it's very easy conversation of, okay, we just gave him what he wanted to help with the transition because you're not going to dash out all of your players in one transfer window and do something stupid and then go even further. So it's very easy. Like, Mainoo, we're doing a new wage structure. And if you're not about it, then go. It's that simple. Like, no player is bigger than the club. I know, like they're all Manchester
right,
United fans are hyped about Manu, and he's one of their own, and he's like arguably one of the best things to come out of their.
You lot are still
system in a
sitting
while.
on this. You lot are still sitting on this big six cartel pedestal. I can give you clean examples. I'll give you the best example. Chelsea last summer went in for Elise, or the year before, whenever it was. What did Elise do? He signed a new contract with Crystal Palace. He didn't go to
but
Chelsea.
he'd already been at Chelsea.
Yeah.
He came.
It doesn't matter.
Chelsea.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
He didn't
He
go.
knows what it was
He
like.
ended up signing a new contract.
But it's Bayern Munich out of all teams came in. This is Bayern Munich. And they were also going through a shit period. And now they're going through a
And Palace
No.
were clever. They wouldn't sell him to a Premier League club for less money. Like
He signed a new contract with Palace.
Can we get one thing straight as well, yeah? Money's always been a thing to footballers. Sol Campbell came out and said it perfectly himself. At the end of the day, like
not on this channel, we don't mention that name over here.
Well, regardless, he came out and said he wants to win and he wants to obviously get paid more as a footballer, especially back then. It was always about these transfers used to happen normal between clubs. You know this more than anyone else, Wolfie. You're that old.
Let's get an example then.
No, but my whole point is stars will, no matter what, money will always be the factor for players. Whether you think they're coming to my club for the history and everything, they don't think they're gonna win at your club. They're using your club as a stepping stone. That's what you fail to understand.
Let me put up an example.
The egos and the stars will always come.
Your club there.
Your football, the stars. I've won more than you. Even in the last couple of years, mate. Get one thing straight. The playoffs or the championship don't count, mate. Anyway, my whole point is, top stars, you will always offer the money for your top stars, and that's how football's always been. I don't want this player because he don't want to come here because he don't believe in the Forest project. What is the Forest project? You give me your idea of it.
When have I said that? No,
because you don't want to come here. It says a lot. Money talks. Players always will go for money.
You're back on my point. Money talks, exactly.
Yeah, but it don't matter what you
are reducing your wages, then you have nothing to attract them with.
Yes.
You still think your name holds. Show me
this.
It does. Let's see how this transfer window holds
we
out.
took Euro from Real Madrid regardless.
Who's the bigger name? Who's the bigger name? Man United or Man City?
You think you've had a one?
Who's the bigger name? Man United or Man City?
Right now, let's be real. Man City
are
better.
I am talking about what you're talking about. Who's the bigger name? Man United or Man City?
Right now, Man United will always have a bigger name than Man City.
Okay.
What did Man City just
would
do?
they rather go to? You or Man City?
It depends because Declan Rice went to Arsenal, not Man City, and Arsenal won nothing.
I didn't say Man City.
Wait, hold on 1 sec. Because Wolf, this is what I'm trying to. I'm not trying to get at Forest as a club or the fans, by the way. So please don't take me for. I'm not a prick. This is just Wolfie. It's just Wolfie. Yes. The thing is with Wolfie, what you all well know as his little minions, his little cronies in a chat, right? It's the fact that he's had one decent season at the moment, and he thinks all of a sudden his shit doesn't stink. And that's fair enough. I'd be on the same page if I was there too. But I'm not first, so I don't care. If I'm not first, it's not worth mentioning. Only little gimmicks and little battles. He thinks that all of a sudden you're on track and you're going to do all this and all that. And that you were not in the guard, not even just last year, in a relegation scrap and whatnot with minus points and all sorts. Wolfie, what do you not understand? We've seen the same thing with Newcastle. We've seen the same thing with Villa. There's a clear drop-off.
Rather
Your
than
squad ain't gonna uphold.
Okay.
Rather than deflecting, answer the question.
What do we have to offer? A lot more than you.
Who is the bigger name, Man U or Man City?
It still always will be Man United.
Okay.
They are
just disingenuous
over Man U.
So why did they go to Man City?
Hang on. This is disingenuous, Wolfie. Right, hang on. Let's bring. I'll tell you how it's disingenuous. Let me bring this to a point. Let me pluck a player out of the air that I've just been thinking about for 1 minute. So it's not really out of the air, right? Let's say Victor Boniface, right? Let's say Victor Boniface of Leverkusen. Really good striker, scores loads of goals. Let's face it. If Nottingham Forest, Man United, and Arsenal all rock up in the negotiations for Victor Boniface and his agent are going to go to Man United or to Arsenal before they do to Nottingham Forest. But yes, and here's why. Wolfie, because again, and this is coming from a fan of a club that would also say if Spurs went in at the same time as Arsenal or Liverpool, whatever, for Victor Boniface, he's going to go to those clubs over Spurs. And
who would he go to, Spurs or Forest?
Hang on. Here's the reason why. Because Forest are doing well in this moment in time. I know everyone wants to be offended by this, but it's true. Nottingham Forest are having a very, very, very good year that no one saw coming, but they've done brilliantly, and the credit where it's due. But the problem is football transfers aren't always based upon what is a team doing in 1 year. So what teams will look at is Man United's history over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Man United's stadium. Man United's buying power. Right? But no, hang on.
That's rude, Wolfie. How can you tell man in the street that he's deluded? How dare you?
Wolfie, let me finish, right? They will look at what have Arsenal done? What have Liverpool done? What have Spurs done? What have Forest done? Victor Boniface, in no reason, I'm just using him as the example, is going to choose Nottingham Forest over those two if they came in for him at the same time as you. Now, it might be a case that you get him in an opportunistic moment when the other two clubs aren't buying. But if all three of your clubs went for him at the same time, you would be his third choice. You know
Absolutely
that deep down.
Disagree. No, I don't.
How?
And I mean, using him as a bad example.
I can use an example. I could use an example for you.
No. What I would say.
Slow down. I want
let me finish the point. The points I disagree with you on. They will not look at history. They will look on what's coming forward. They're not going to care that Forest won the Champions League way back when, right? They're not going to care about that. If that scenario happens, yes, I agree he would choose Arsenal over Forest. He wouldn't choose Man United. As I would say, no, he wouldn't.
Yes, he would.
No,
why would he go to? Say it, Wolfie. Why would he choose Forest?
Because our project is better than yours.
Okay, but hang on.
And he's just made Savva Arena, so
hang on.
You can't even compare Man United's project because they haven't started yet.
Okay.
Not got any players.
Do you think he would choose Spurs over Forest?
Yes.
No, yes. Let me ask you. If I play,
he would. Hang on. He's asked a question. Let me go back to him. Kaz. Yes, because do you know why, Wolfie? Because again, if you look at us over the last 10, 15 years, we've got history of Champions League.
Nothing. Yes, agreed.
No, Wolfie, you asked a question. Let me finish, right?
Go for it.
Right? If you compare, listen, I am someone, I'd like to think you guys know I'm very unbiased about Tottenham Hotspur. I don't sit here and just go, we're amazing, we're great. But if someone came in and they said the same offer, Tottenham and Nottingham Forest, you think because you are where you are in the league right now and we're having a struggling season, that player's going to turn around and go, I've got more future, that Nottingham Forest are going to do something more than Tottenham Hotspur are. Do you truly believe that deep down?
So run this through, right? So Forest end up in Europe. Let's call it Champions League
for
now.
Sure.
You end up with nothing, right?
Sure.
You still think he chooses Spurs over Forest?
Because Wolfie,
That's
yes, I'll tell you why.
Wait, Savva, I need to jump into this one.
Yes.
I need to do this one, by the way. Yes,
Hang on,
Savva,
go on, Savva.
I need to add on to Savva's part because this comes back to what you said about what you offer. So if a player only comes to your club because you offer Champions League football, what does that tell you about your club really then? Because it's just Champions League football, not anything else. Because I got told as a Man United fan, if a player comes just for Champions League, it's the wrong reason, really. No, so what else do you have to offer?
Well, you speak to the person who told you that. No, you don't think Champions League is a pull?
It's a pull, but I got told don't mind.
We don't need that.
So sorry, Savva, continue if you don't mind, because now you're going to talk about Wolfie, about you not being in Champions League.
Now I want to know how he would choose the domestic competitions next season over Champions League.
Okay, but the thing is, again, this is where we're talking. This is where football fans, when we talk, everyone talks about right nowism rather than bigger picture.
That's his whole gimmick.
Right?
That's his whole gimmick.
This is the problem. And again, Nottingham Forest are doing really well. But let me show you something. Right? If we truly believe, if we're going to talk about a project, I hate this bloody word, by the way. I think it's ridiculous. Right? If we're going to talk about projects, you're telling me, right, that when anybody looks at this, they're going to look at your last 10, 15 seasons of mostly Championship and then 2 seasons in the Prem where you've scraped through relegation. And you think that scouts and people in world football won't turn around and go, yeah, Forest are in a really good moment, but hang on, Spurs are a much bigger club in terms of Premier League pedigree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now that's my club. I'm now going to go above my club and I'm going to the clubs bigger than mine. I'm going to Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal, bigger clubs than my club.
Mm-hmm.
And you think that your club would trump all our clubs to
I
get
didn't say that.
player?
I did not say that.
But okay, so you think they'll
When
trump
you said
Man
funny
United
face, I said he would go Arsenal, but he would go Forest over Man United. And you
so he goes to Forest over Man U and
Tottenham. Yeah, you can do this stance all you want, but we've literally seen it happen this season. Where's Edu?
What?
Where's Edu?
He's not one to
Money
go, by the way.
talks. Money talks. He's getting more money at Forest.
Thank you.
Wait. No.
No, that's not what Wolfie said.
No.
Ed,
Three times the amount.
do it.
Three
No, 'cause
times
we-
the amount.
Hey, Hooks, say it, because we stream a lot with Wolfie. What did he say?
I don't know what he said, but the reason why
go on. I'll tell you what he
Edu's going to Nottingham Forest is because he wanted the CEO role at Arsenal and he didn't get it, and he's not too fond of the fact that Arteta has more power than him. So he went.
And he got a bigger project, and he got 3 times the amount of money.
It has nothing to do with the project because he
was
happy with
nothing
it.
to do with it. He wanted a multi-club system. That's what he wanted.
That's nothing to do with the Nottingham Forest project.
But what's Edu got to do with it? Edu's not a football player. What has Edu
got
to do with this conversation?
This is about pulling power. This is about pulling power.
Okay, so what's your pulling power? Right?
You just
because
money.
Wolfie, do you think that you're going to pay, right, pulling power, do you think you're going to pay bigger wages than Man United or Tottenham to get a player?
Of course he is.
Well, on straight wages? No, because
Straight
you have to work within the PSR and the restrictions of that.
That's not what I asked. That's not why I asked.
Yeah. Keep on track.
That's not
I
why I
literally
asked.
said no because of PSR restrictions. That is an answer.
That's not the answer. What? Because of that, you can't put more money into a player or whatever.
Yes.
You could still, but you could still offer. If we offer the player 80 grand,
not an
you
answer?
could still offer more.
So then, how do you reconcile your statement then? To be fair, Wolfie, of they're going to go to Forest over Man United or Arsenal because they'll be able to compete with PSR.
Oh no, he did. Oh, you ain't even.
Well, it depends what he's asking for. If a player's asking for 100k, we can do that. If someone's asking for 400k, you can't.
This is
that's
not
different.
even,
Obviously,
we need to keep focused because Wolfie's whole argument is about money. He just said, not because of the project or anything, as he mentioned, he's going to Nottingham Forest because they offered like 3 times the amount of money or some crap like that. Did you just not?
For Edu.
Yeah, and on my stream,
we offered him a multi-club. See, you pick and choose what you want to hear, Cass.
Hold on.
No, don't misquote me. I said we've offered him 3 times the money, a multi-club project, and the role he wanted.
Got him on the line.
Use all three. Go
him on the line. So on that note, I just have one last one because this is a receipt on my channel and Never a Foul Yet, and Monster's channel and Dax's channel. This guy said he chose Forest over Arsenal, not because they offered him more money in the multi club. It's just the role. He said clearly that they have a better. He said, and I'm not kidding you about the project. And now he's talking about the money. So
I just talked about 3 things. 3 things.
You just said he chose because you offered him 3 times.
What are you not hearing? I just said the money, the multi-club system, and the position.
He's coming to a bigger.
What are we talking about?
Edu.
Why are we talking about a director of football? Like, this has got nothing to do with players. Right. I just want to bring up a comment I've seen that makes me laugh. Right? Again, I want to bring up a comment, which this is where Nottingham Forest fans are driving me crazy at the moment, right?
Big up.
So I'm guessing this is a Nottingham Forest fan, right? Big up to you. I
said, out, Owen.
All these lads are rattled. Right, hang on.
I'm not rattled.
All these lads are rattled. Why is it? Why is it always that people have to be rattled? I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense. We've worked harder, recruited better, and done it better than most of you. We didn't need 23 years of Premier League money to establish ourselves. Well, let's break this down. And this is where I think people need to calm down. And this is where football fans really do show their lack of just trying to be at a base level of common sense on a football debate, right? First of all, we've worked harder and recruited better than all of us. What you mean? You're having 1 year where you're above those teams you're talking about? 1 year. This is no, I know not above you, but this is 1 year. So when we're talking about establishing, establishing will be if Nottingham Forest finish top 4 this year, then finish top 4 next year. Yeah. Then, you know, at the moment, you're having a really good season. Forest fans, for some reason, can't turn around and go, this is the start of something good. Now it's up to us and the board to show in the summer that we want to go and compete. But everybody goes a little bit too doolally too soon. The season hasn't finished. People are talking about we've done it better than you. I hate to break it to you. You haven't finished in the top half of a Premier League for about 20 years of football. And one good season, and now suddenly you've recruited.
And we haven't even recruited. What is he talking about? We haven't even brought anyone in.
Hang on. So my point is this, right? The point is, and I can't believe this was actually to back up Kaz's point. If a top player goes on the market and Man United and Nottingham Forest go in for them, or Liverpool and Nottingham Forest go in for them, unfortunately, and it's horrible because this affects my club as well, the players, more often than not, and their agents will choose the bigger clubs, bigger salaries, you know, there's more promise there. And because the bigger picture is, whilst Man United might be having a difficult year this year, Man United, over the last 10 years, have won European trophies, FA Cups, League Cups. They are Man United. Nottingham Forest, while they're having a good year this year, there's no evidence to suggest that this is what they are going to be from now on, or this is just one good season. So this is crazy when people say
you're looking too far backwards. Look, I actually hold on. I agree with some of the stuff you're saying, but a lot of the stuff you're talking about is backwards. What I was trying to say in that point is that if you project it forward, I think the future for Forest looks better than it does for Manchester United.
Based on what?
Based on evidence.
Based on the season. Based on
evidence. You're having a good season.
Hold on. This is probably the 4th Man U project since Fergie retired, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that, but
yeah, we got Arsenal on phase 5 with Arteta, and we got Forest in their first phase under Nuno doing what he's doing. Hold on. I agree. Wait, let me finish. I agree the sample size is still small. Forest have established themselves as a Premier League club, in my opinion now. They have not established themselves as contenders year in, year out for what's going on.
There's a key word in it.
But what Forest have done is jumped a lot of clubs to get where we are. And what we have that Man United don't have is an owner who gives a damn about the club, who will put his hand in his pocket and do what's best for the club. That's the big difference. So when I project it forward, whose position would I rather be in, Forest or United?
You said Arsenal, and you mentioned Arsenal as if, but the key word is probably sustainable. You ain't got a sustainable sample size yet.
I agree. I agree with that.
Regardless of what you're doing now, you was in a relegation scrap last 2 seasons.
You're in one now, mate. You're in one now. Let's live in the here and now.
Even if you have a bad period, the whole point is you're going on like footballers have got any sense of loyalty these days.
Yeah,
money always have. I said that you're the one talking about their loyalty to your history, and that's why they'll join you.
Because you're not the maddest part. The maddest part is Stuttgart finished very high last year. I think 2nd. Let me know how. Let me know if players are still joining them over someone else that finished worse off than them, like Dortmund.
Well, you think the Bundesliga has the same as Premier League?
Not the point. The thing is, when you say Man United, no matter what, you jump at that, regardless of who you are. When they go Forest, if a foreign player comes in and says, "Who's in for me?" and they say Nottingham Forest, they're like, "Who?" That's the difference. Still, who's that? Always money will always talk, and if you can't bridge that gap, you're always going to be relying on how good your scouting department
is. Make your mind up. Is it money or your name?
But I think both. It's both.
Okay, so in one sense you're using one argument, and in the other you're using the other one.
It's an easier way to convince a player, regardless of what it is, whether even if it's correct wages or whatever. However you want.
This whole thing started by you saying you will pay less wages. Yes or no?
We do pay
under Ineos. You will pay less.
No, we paid a lot less wages and less.
My question still stands: what have you got to attract them with?
What do you mean? It's history. It's still Man United.
You're now leaning on the history because you're not going to lean on the money. You're now leaning on history.
I said that the name is the history of the name. However you want to interpret it, it's still the name. It's still the history. It's still United.
They still have the biggest turnover in England.
And the thing is, Euro could have. Look, here's my part as well. Euro could have stayed at his club and went on a free to Real Madrid if he wanted to. And I'm not saying this. He was one of the class generational centre backs. Not having a great time at the moment, I admit. but he still chose us over Real Madrid. Real Madrid didn't want to put the money up. We still put the money up regardless, because that's what you do for talents these days. Esteval's going to flipping Chelsea for how much? Like, it's just the way it is. We still got the Ligt, who just come from Bayern Munich. But
he was brilliant a few seasons ago, wasn't he?
It was good.
Who else was in for De Ligt? Who else was in for De Ligt, Cass? Who else was in for De Ligt?
There was actually another name, but I can't remember.
They were that big that you can't remember.
No, he rejected Bayern Munich's contract proposal, and someone else tried to come in for him, and I can't remember who it was. But it's not the point. Mazraoui, you're going for 12 million. Look, I admit, you've done some really good scouting. But I've seen West Ham do really good scouting. I've seen Newcastle do really good scouting. I've seen Villa change and chop
Leicester City.
I've seen it before. Again, at the end of the day, when it does come to proposals, mine will always be stronger than yours until you can prove it so. And that's the bottom line. I don't even need a response.
He's right, Wolfie. He's right. I hate that he's right, but he is right. This is like when Leicester won the league. I remember having conversations with Leicester fans then. This is the start of an amazing thing. And it's like, cool, but now you've got to go from winning the league, fight again the next season.
Yeah, but we're not sitting here saying we'll get Mbappe in next season.
No, one thing you've got to do, mate, is keep the players that have got you there.
Murillo's done. Guess what? We've already done that. Murillo's signed. Morgan Gibbs-White signing a new contract.
Murillo's
gone.
You get Murillo's done.
Hold on.
Can I ask a question? Right, I want to ask a question because, listen, I think Forest are having a great season. By the way, I know everyone keeps saying in the chat like people are trying to shit on Forest. No one's trying to shit on Forest.
No, I like Forest.
Hang on. There's a food chain. There is a food chain, and people have got to realise that. As much as we hate it, there's one way to disrupt the food chain, right? Chelsea and Man City showed how you disrupt the food chain. You disrupt that food chain with billions of pounds. Yeah, you go in and go, Man City get bought and they go, right, let's make a statement. Robinho at the time, if you remember, right?
50 million.
Right. That's how you disrupt the big clubs and stay there, because the big clubs were Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United. They were the big three. Chelsea and City came in, huge billionaires, boom. We're going to force our way in, win everything and be up there. There's no other way to infiltrate that and stay in there. Leicester, brilliant achievement. Won the league, one season wonder. Spurs, we've fourth, third, second. We've never been able to consistently do it. Villa, they're trying. Newcastle, they're trying. Everton had a few years back where they got, many years back actually, they got top four for a season under Moyes, right? So when we talk about, no one's shitting on Nottingham Forest. I think it's brilliant for the league what Nottingham Forest are doing.
Agreed.
But there's a difference between saying we're having a great year and now we're more attractive all of a sudden after one good 22-game period than Man United, than Spurs, than all these clubs. Listen, for me, there's got to be a degree of common sense that goes into this. I know where my club are in the pecking order. I know where my club are. I know if my club tries to go and get a player that Man City are trying to get, Man City going to get that player. That's
you got to accept Wolfie. Your club. I don't think your club's trying to you're trying to get into Europe, but so are Brighton and so are others. The thing is, you will always, you're going to go into that bit where you're a feeder club. You'll get brilliant players like Murillo on the contract, and when he's had enough and his ambition soars higher than what you can offer him, he'll go to a bigger club and you'll get big money for it. That's your way. You will be the Dortmund of the league or something like that. Like Brighton.
Again, that's not true. Because
yes, it will be. It will be.
If I could get a sentence out, we have one of the richest owners in the Premier League, and he knows to bridge the gap, he needs more revenue incoming. So what do you think he's been working on for the last 12 to 18 months is increasing revenue sources with sponsorship deals, with links abroad and what have you. Okay, so the gap, I agree, the gap has to be bridged. Savva's bang on. To win stuff in this league, you need money. And that's what we're going to have to do. And to do that, you have to increase your revenues, which increases your spending power, which increases everything else. It's a process. And it goes back to my point. I still think the forward-looking project at Forest is better than Man U's sixth project or whatever it is.
Sorry, what is the project that we're all missing then that you've got? What's
to
so
establish
different?
Ourselves in this kind of season we're having. So this season doesn't become a Leicester-style one-hit wonder, this season becomes the norm for Forest.
Can I ask you a
What
question?
is the project? I know the aim of the project. What is the project to make that happen?
Exactly what I just said about how Marinakis is going out, getting investors, increasing revenue, building, redoing the stadium so the capacity is bigger to increase more revenue.
Haven't we done all that? So use my club as the example.
And what was your aim? And what was your aim?
Hang on. But hang on. But this is the point. We've done all that. We still can't compete. We've done everything you said we've done. We can't compete.
You can't compete because your recruitment hasn't been good enough. Because your manager, according to you, hasn't been good enough.
And the owner.
And the owner, yeah. And the owner's more interested in the off-field business than the on-field business.
Sure. Okay. And how many years do you think it's going to take you to get to the point to do what we've done, but then show the actual on-field interest?
I think we can show the on-field stuff quicker, but not the off-field stuff.
And that takes a long time.
The other thing we've got
that goes hand in hand, Wolfie. This is
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Hand in hand.
No, it doesn't.
Wolfie, let me ask you a question. How much did you buy Murillo for?
12.
Cheap. Absolutely. Do you know what? I've got to give the scouts props for that. He'd only played 21, 27
about that, I think
football games in his life. So that's great signing. Now,
brilliant signing.
So if we turn around to you, as in Liverpool, at the end of the season, we've won the league. We'll give you 55 million for him. He's saying, I'm going. It's nothing to do with how much money we're giving you. He's saying, I want to go. So you're not going to be able to keep this team together, I don't think, next season. Because Gibbs White, he can go to a bigger club.
Yeah, you can replace him. But the thing is, I'm going to back Wolfie on this part. When it won't be 55, more like 100 now. I quite like Nottingham Forest's recruitment of recent. Sangare, Danilo, Dominguez.
Hudson from Fulham.
I think Olena was at Fulham at the point, right footed, left foot. Their recruitment is top.
Yeah, I agree.
No one's doubting that.
And that's great. And that's the point I'm saying, Savva. We can do what you should have done. If you combine Forest recruitment with your off-the-field revenue, what a combo you would have. So I think we catch you up.
Forest, way.
Sure, but here's the difference, Wolfie. Next year, let's assume you qualify for Europe. You should. From the position you're in, you should get a European qualification this season. It's not guaranteed, but you should. Now, all of a sudden, you're playing 2 games a week. Now you're going to see, this is where things change. How does your manager now get a big enough squad, a good enough squad? Every signing needs to be spot on. He's now got to juggle that every 3 or 4 days. This is where it's not just as straightforward as having one good year in the Premier League and saying we're brilliant. All of this other stuff, all of this other stuff is which is why when you're saying the future looks brighter for your club than other clubs, I feel like you can only say that after 2 or 3 years of doing this.
No,
I don't think you can say that after 20. You can't say that after 22 Premier League games that your project looks better than everyone else because you were in a relegation battle.
I didn't say better than everyone else's. I said better than Man U's. No, well, to answer that question, firstly, I agree with you. For me as a fan, I'm looking at this season, right? Where we finish, the higher the better. But to answer your question about next year's size of squad and whatever, my simple answer is Nuno. Nuno has track record of it. Nuno got Wolves up, got him to 7th. Everyone was like, wow, let's see what he does next year in Europe.
He
keeps him in Europe, he plays, and he finishes 7th again in the league and qualifies them again for Europe. With a small squad, Nuno at Wolves had 18 as his first team, between 18 and 21 as his squad. He works with a small squad. So Nuno is the key for Forest to do that. Now, if you were to bring in, let's just say a Mourinho came in or something who wanted a big squad, spending money, Forest can't do that and sustain that with the model we currently have. Right now, the balance is right at Forest. That's the key point. We're spending the right amount, we're recruiting in the right amount, and we got the right manager. That pushes you forward. And with his track record in Europe, it can work. Not saying it will. Let's just get there first, as far as I'm concerned.
I think, are you ready to have a dip as well at the same time? Because the way you play, I think you got really good footballers, by the way, but not all of them. Like, when you want to play expansively, eventually, because teams will start figuring it out how to play against the lot. You can't play low block forever. You have to come out at one point and you will suffer. And at that moment, you will have to find a manager that suits the players. And that manager might not hit. Nuno won't be there for years and years and years. He's not going to be the guy that takes you from one step to another. But I think he's a great stepping stone manager. But my issue is with Nuno, he plays a certain way. And if you want to be a top club, unless you're like an Atletico Madrid type kind of situation, I don't see it for you lot to kind of go there. I think Newcastle are rectifying their mistakes.
Atletico did it. Chelsea have done it.
Yeah, years ago. Like
they did it with Conte recently as well, not too long ago.
The only sustainable period for you, but it's not sustainable. The only sustainable club that has done it and who also fell off for their standards is Atletico. And Diogo Simeone is a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah, but all I'm saying, guys, right? All I'm saying is I'm not looking for it. I think they're really good. I just think before we start talking about what project is better than anybody else's, I mean, the word project gets thrown around in football far too much now.
Oh, I hate the word. Yeah.
Everything is a project, right? Yes. Let's be fair. If Nottingham Forest were 12th right now, people would be going, oh, this is part of our project to finish 12th, and then next year we're going to finish 5th. Look, for me, just have a few seasons of doing this, and then I think people will start going, all right, top players. By the way, we're going to finish the show in the next 4 or 5 minutes. Top players will start thinking about Forest over United.
Yeah.
Other clubs. I just think at the moment it's too simplistic to just say, well, why would anyone want to join Man United over Nottingham Forest? Well, I can think of a million reasons why you would join Man United over Nottingham Forest. You would.
Can I even add to that argument again then? Because I just thought of something. Tottenham were in Champions League for time. We was out of it. We was in Europa League. If a player said who are they more likely to still join at that period, 2009, 20, take your pick. Tottenham, who's a bigger club than Forest, respectively, in modern football, modern day society, or Man United. They were consistently finishing. So Tottenham was finishing 6-7 years on a trot with Poch or whatever it was. Man United weren't. Who would the players still choose?
You were still getting Europe though, weren't you?
Yeah, but doesn't matter. That's one season. I expect United to bounce back, like, or whatever. It's obviously inevitable. But I'm just saying, who would they have still picked? We've got Champions League football or Europa League, let alone nowadays Conference League. If a player,
at that stage, you were bouncing one season Europa, one season Champions League. It's not really an argument.
Yeah, and again,
really Chelsea. I'm saying now, in your project, I'm not sure you get back into European football next season. The direction you're going in.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? That's my point here.
Chelsea have one game a week at one point, didn't they? When they finished 12th, they still got players to join them.
Yeah. How did they get those players? How did they get those players?
Yeah, but it wasn't money though.
Really? Offering a player an 8-year contract isn't money.
Yeah, but the way you amortize, but you can amortize stuff and do loopholes as much as you want.
Amortizing their bank account.
But go look at their actual wages, Wolfie, rather than thinking, Chelsea, they must pay big wages. You know, they must pay big wages. Go look at their wages. They barely have anyone above 200 grand.
It's guaranteed for 8 years. Look at the total sum of the contract.
So someone's being smart about it. They're being smart about it. But regardless of the contract, they're still Chelsea, and even if they don't have European football, they will still choose them.
That is true. They will.
And they still had to pay them and give them big contracts.
It's not. No, they just give them long contracts. There's a difference because the length of the contract means that however much money they've spent, it's spread across that length of period of time. So that's why they're doing it.
That's for the fees. That's not for the player's wage.
No, but I'm saying the length of the wage. That's why they do it that long.
Yeah, but in the same breath, it can backfire for that player. I'm pretty sure they knew. Yeah, you can get an 8-year contract. It could be on 50 grand, but at the same time, they don't have to offer you nothing. You could stay on that small wage and not even get a bumper contract.
Look at Mudryk. Like year deal. He's laughing.
You live and you learn, I suppose, innit? But
look, let's round it off. The last thing I'll say is I've just checked Nottingham Forest player salaries, and there is one official Nottingham Forest player who is on over 100 grand a week. If you want to be up there challenging every single season and you're going to be in Europe as well, you're going to have to start getting a lot more players on over 100 grand a week, Mark. When you start doing that, it starts to become a lot more difficult. Listen, I hope Nottingham Forest do finish in the top 4. I do. I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
No.
I don't think they will. I think they'll drop out. I think they'll drop into sort of 6th or 7th. That's just my opinion. But I just don't understand this, that they're suddenly
How we avoided talking about Spurs? This has been quite clever from you.
What do you want to talk about with Spurs?
I just wanted to.
I just heard Carragher's.
Go on, hang on, Hooks, go on, Hooks.
Before you do that, as well, and I just wanted to correct everyone here, and I'm gonna start correcting more YouTubers as I go along, and a lot of people
Like
in the chat as well. Arsenal aren't in phase 5. Yeah, Arteta's in year 5 of being at Arsenal. He's not in phase 5. He's in phase 3. Yeah,
So 3.
We actually can't
Yeah.
go into phase 4 until we become champions, as part of his phase 5.
Who made the phases though? What gives you the right to say what phase you're in? Like, really, what is a phase?
Because of what the phases are. So there's culture, which is one of the phases, character, which is another one of the phases, challengers, which we currently are, and then there's champions.
But who made up those phases? You
Arteta.
or other fans?
You
Arteta.
did.
So his phase.
So when
his word is
got
grace.
hired,
Yeah. All right, cool.
yeah. When Arteta got hired, yeah, part of his interview,
Phase.
he was putting this forward, his phased plan ahead of the board, which got him hired.
Phase.
Yeah, and the final phase 5 is actually consistency and continuity. So
Which phase is the winning phase? Sorry.
4 apparently.
4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're right there. You're right
Because
there.
also,
we can't actually-
Arteta
we
made
can't
up the phases.
actually
That must mean that's the phase for every other club because that's how it should work.
No, it's not. This is
But it should though.
But this is why I'm always confused when
But it should, though.
other teams use project and phase for their clubs, because again, this phased plan was made by Arteta when he went to the board for his interview and presented his phase 5, his 5-step plan to change Arsenal, and he got hired upon it. Now, man, I'm just throwing around the word.
Hooks,
You maybe.
Can I just ask one
right.
question? Hooks, on this plan, this business plan that he put to the board, was there any dates by these phases?
No.
No. So you could be in phase 3 for 20 years.
I was going to say something along those
We
lines.
can't actually, obviously, obviously parts of consistency and continuity will be ever present in phase 3, because when you're a challenge, you want to continue to challenge. Like, you don't just want to challenge one season and then go back to 6.
Sure, you want to get
8.
to the next phase. Would that not be
but
the...
until you can get to the next phase,
I get what Hooks is saying, and I do agree with it. To be fair.
Like, you have to be consistently challenging. But it's like people forget, you have to consistently challenge until you're able to win the league. It's not like
Leicester did. Is that what Blackburn did?
Yeah, but where are Leicester now?
That's
not the point. That's not
Where are Leicester? No, it is the point.
You just said you have to consistently be challenging before you can do that. Leicester did. Blackburn didn't.
Okay, and they're the anomaly, no? Whenever we talk about Leicester, they're the anomaly, no? Then the anomaly, no?
Blackburn paid their way there.
Can I say, if so, Amram's coming now. Omar Barada said we plan to win the league by 2020. That's like what, in 3 years? Yeah, cool, whatever. If Amram doesn't win by then, I want him sacked.
Yes, because you assigned the date to it.
Yeah, but that's the whole point though, because you have to uphold this. You have to hold the standards up. If you can't win by 2028, you get sacked, mate. If you think you can finish second at United, guess again, mate. Because if you want to uphold standards. We need to do that in the first place. First, we need to prove that we can do that. But for me, as a top club like yourselves or whatever, if I was finishing second as much as fuck that, get gone on your trot, next one in. Because I can't have someone that's finishing there not winning anything. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
But you've done that.
Yeah, but when you present a phase plan to any in any work scenario, if you go to a marketing and they ask you what's your strategies and all this kind of stuff, you give your strategies, but surely you date it as well. You have to be held accountable.
Yeah, but I'm correcting you on,
and I'm correcting you.
You lot were saying you can't correct me.
But yes, I have. Wolfie just but Wolfie just correct.
We're in phase 5. We're not.
Whatever Arteta said, beautiful.
You're in year 5, which is phase 3,
which is pathetic.
Yeah, but you don't. You can't.
How can it make 5 years to win a league? I could say that. It's going to take me 5 years on Football Manager to go win your league. I'm sacked on Football Manager even, mate.
But the thing is,
bro, I won the league with Spurs on that.
Fuck me, you get sacked.
The thing is, you say this, yeah, but outside of the anomaly season where Liverpool won it, who has won the
That's an anomaly season.
last 7 years?
What?
It's been won by one team who clearly created a culture and environment of success that they've been able to consistently maintain.
They only won 2 of those league titles
I'm just saying, if I'm 5 years in and my owners decide they wanted to keep this guy on and give him a new contract because he's in phase 3 still, I'm sorry, man.
Again, there's a difference. There's a difference between being satisfied with the plan and actually correcting you on what the plan is. Those are two very different things.
You don't need 6 years to win a league, man. I'm sorry, you don't. You really don't.
Okay, so when was the last time you won the league?
A long time ago, but time ago.
Sometimes you need a bit more than 6 years.
Yeah, but when you've got something going on good, recruitment, you got your finances, you spent 700 million, or you got the manager and all that kind of stuff.
How many millions have you spent? Sorry,
billions. Yeah, but we spent, I know we spent a lot of our own money, by the way.
Money doesn't matter.
We spent a lot of our own money.
Yeah, but this all comes back to what Savva says.
The thing is, what is this face stuff? Yeah, but
can someone tell me a successful project that hasn't involved Pep or Klopp? In all these projects I hear, in every team, I'll include my own, because I heard for years the project about Forest getting up to the Premier League.
I'll give you a couple, Wolfie. Chelsea didn't take them long, was it? What phase were they in? Man City.
They did spend 1.2 billion.
What phase were they in?
That's not a project, man. That's a one-night stand. That's a one-night stand.
Aston Villa. He's the only example you can
Puxty,
give.
The thing is, what I don't understand, and this is why I don't get onto Man City so much. If you go over the calls before their January spending potentially, or even if you want to include it, over the last 5 years of spending since, let's say, Arteta, they've spent a lot less than Arsenal have. Arsenal have had a lot.
Only because of
wait 1 sec. The only saving grace of Arsenal, no, I do know why. They had to change a lot of their crap. But now it's there, and they're still spending on crap. And it's still not winning. It's like, when is it?
Man City built the bulk of their team with no FFP. Of course, they don't need to spend that as much money now.
It's just you know what it is. Whether you're happy with him, I know you're not happy, Hooks, in it. Like, first hand, I know you're not happy with the manager, yeah, but he's not going nowhere. So the meltdown season incoming, I'm ready for it. Whatever. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year game.
You're looking forward to this season?
It's not this season. I'm talking about it. I don't think you're going to melt down as much, but next season it's going to be a funny old game, isn't it? It really is.
Next season, I'm not even sure they'll qualify for the Champions League.
See, but look,
I don't know about that. They still got Saka in that.
Look, but they said this after the 22-23 season. They said this after the 23-24 season, and look who is still second comfortable.
Hang on, Puxty, you're saying you're not sure who's going to get Champions League?
I don't think next season. Arsenal, I don't think, come in the top 4.
Next season, they won't finish.
Next season.
How are we possibly in January of this season? We don't know anyone that's signing, leaving, new contracts, and we're saying they won't be in the top 4 next season.
I don't know about that. That's a bit much.
Next season. What's the difference? What's the difference?
You know, it's with me, Savva. They got a bit of a situation, Arsenal. Yeah, for me, is one, they're not showing ambition. Their fans are debating if they want to go protest and whatnot. Some of them are trying to keep up the positivity gimmick, so to save face online. And that's no shots intended. They just, you know who the culprits are. It's more of, and they've just given a manager who's bottled it a couple times a new contract. That doesn't show me ambition. Don't get me wrong. Then they got the contract situation. Saka, Saliba, and all of that kind of stuff, and their recent recruitment doesn't show me they can replace quite well. So we can say they have recruited decently, but it hasn't been amazing. So really and truly, wherever the football comes in, I just don't know if they're going to. Arteta needs a lot. He needs a lot. I'm not going to go through it, but I just don't feel like Josh Kroenke and these men are going to give him what he needs.
Sure, but Kaz, for all of that you've just said there about
they'll still get top 4 though. Easy.
And Puxty talking about how they won't get it next year. And as much as I'd like to sit here and say how shit Arsenal are, with all of that going on, they're still above everyone else in the Premier League other than Liverpool, with all of that that's going on. So where's this, like Puxty, you can say clip it, but where's this sudden they're going to drop off next year to completely not make a prediction?
It's called a prediction.
Yeah,
it's my prediction.
Sure, but YouTube channels would be really shit if that was the answer to every question. Based on what? Like we need.
Because so Liverpool will be up there again. Chelsea will be better. Man City will be better. So it's going to be a fight between.
Why will you be better? There's no guarantee you'll be better. You don't spend either, and you've got contractual situations at the moment, so you ain't got a clue.
Salah, Van Dijk.
I'm making a prediction, and that's
need to buy anybody.
I'm just giving. If anything, Kaz is right. If anything, at the moment, you've got worries with Van Dijk, Salah, and Trent.
No, one more. Add another one. Add another one. Kanate now as well. You see what he said when he just come out today?
Okay, cool.
What
So
today?
at the moment, if anything, we're sitting here in January.
About his contract.
We know more about what's going to be happening at Liverpool than we do at Arsenal, as it stands. So why are you getting top 4
Because
next year?
I'm not worried because we recruit very well. That's why I'm not worried.
You recruit so well. Where have you finished behind? Have you finished behind Arsenal in the last 2 seasons?
He's finished twice before. But how about this? He's finished. We've finished twice above one another.
Hang on, I want to ask a question and get an answer.
But then,
last 2 seasons, where have you finished?
We finished 3rd.
Right. Where did Arsenal finish the last 2 seasons?
2nd.
Okay, so when you're talking about your amazing recruitments had you behind them for the last 2 years.
Yeah, but where are we now? And we haven't added to it because we.
What's that line you said earlier? What's that line you said earlier about now? What's that line?
Right nowism. But this is what I mean. This is the same squad you had last
year. Right now, we're top with the recruitment we did previously. That's why we hang on. Whoa. Let me finish.
Yeah, he's under pressure, man. It's all good.
No.
You're under pressure.
People need to think. Right.
Yeah. You're under pressure.
Our recruitment has been done. You're seeing the fruits of it right now.
Sure.
So therefore, my comment on our recruitment, we recruit very well, is a fact because it's showing it right now.
Sure.
We didn't need to recruit too much in the window because we just needed to add to the squad.
Sure, but
yes, Salah, Van Dijk, Trent.
What about the last 2 years? You're saying your recruitment is at the moment. The last 2 years,
right now.
Yeah, but Puxty, if we take a snapshot, if we take a snapshot, hang on, guys, hang on. If we take a snapshot of the last 3 seasons, you're saying your recruitment's been better than Arsenal's. Whatever happens this season, they finished above you for 2 out of 3 seasons. So when you're saying your recruitment's been better, based on 6 points right now, your recruitment's been better than them.
No, because the only recruitment we did last season was the 4 midfielders, right?
But you're not getting my point. You're missing the recruitment you're banging on about being better than Arsenal's has seen you for the last 2 years be below Arsenal, right? It's only right now that you're 2 wins above them. So when you say your recruitment's been much better than theirs,
okay, over the last 7 years, our recruitment has been better than Arsenal's. Well, no, because I didn't even add the goalpost about it being 3 years, did I?
It hasn't. Arsenal's has been better.
I'm asking you. You came out with a statement. We all heard the statement, right? Bearing in mind, I'm a Spurs fan.
I'm not the one who put the 2 or 3 years in there, am I?
Sure, but we all heard the statement that your recruitment is better. That was your statement, not mine. Yes or no?
Correct, mine.
Sure. So my question was, okay, you're saying your recruitment's been better, but based on the last 2 league finishes that we've seen for completed season.
But why are you just plucking out 2?
But
you just plucked out 7.
Because how far do you want me to go back if we're going to do this?
Can we get one thing straight? Your recruitment was completely different last year. You had what's his name? You had who's that guy for 6 months? Jörg Schmadtke, was your reason. He's the one that got or helped even with getting in McAllister and that. Now you've got Richard Pugh's involved, and now you've got a new CEO involved. So your recruitment has just shown Chiesa, and right now it's not showing much in January. Right, that's your new recruitment. You want to do that, and we want to do right now. Since you gave me a prediction for Arsenal, we'll do a prediction for you right now as it stands. Van Dijk, Trent, and Salah are leaving, and Salah makes up for a lot of your goals at the moment. Van Dijk is your heartbeat, and also Trent is just your obviously Trent's Trent, isn't it? So on that notice. Right now, since you wanted to play that card, right now that means regression.
Okay, well, I get why you would think that.
Your squad will be weaker on June the 30th than
as it stands. Now. Right nowism, that's the one.
Right nowism. Okay, if you're going right nowism, I understand why you're saying that. But
right nowism,
I have faith in our recruitment. We do.
Okay, that's hopium.
Because the proof of the pudding is the last 7 years when Michael Edwards has been at Liverpool. So the proof is already there that we've improved with the players we bought. We improve the players we buy also. That's why you can't just go around saying
this
yeah,
one.
but in the last 7 years, which is when I'm talking about the recruitment team that we have, i.e., Michael Edwards at the forefront of it. Sorry, and then when you also look at the fact that Richard Hughes was in charge of Bournemouth, and now look where Bournemouth are. So they are very good at bringing in players, and we are very good at making them better. I have every faith, even if we lose Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent, I have faith that we can still get enough in that's going to mean that we can stay where we are. Because we will find the goals somewhere else.
Sure. Listen, by the way, I don't think you're going to drop out the top 4, but I'm just saying.
Oh, I don't either.
This is what football fans do. I think Wolfie's got this very same symptom as you. We get our own club and we elevate it to a ridiculous level, and then as soon as we talk about another club, it's but they're not very good. And for me, we're saying Arsenal won't next season, but based on their form the last 3 years, they're right up there every year. So surely that should tell you they're very consistent at being second.
Okay. In response to that, did anyone expect Man City to do what happened this year?
Kind of.
I had him fourth.
No, I didn't.
No one did. No one did.
And
the reason nobody did is because you kind of think to yourself, it's the same old Man City. It's going to happen again.
I didn't predict them to win the league, though, personally. I didn't predict them to win the league.
I had him fourth, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about like the drop off that they had by losing 11 games. No one ever expected that.
Yeah,
no one expected that.
But no one expected Rodri to get injured either.
Could that not happen to Liverpool next season, though? Isn't that a good example for you?
Right. I agree with Wolfie on this one. Couldn't that
happen to you? I mean, it's semi-happened before when we had to play Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, Nat Phillips.
And you didn't win the league.
Reece Williams. No, we came fourth.
Great recruitment, by the way, isn't it?
We came fourth. No, but that was back then. That was way back then. I'm talking about in the last 5 to 7 years, our recruitment, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who would.
I'd be interested to see you. I'd be interested in who you get. To be fair, I do believe. I'm in your. I believe in Michael Edwards to do.
Couldn't you do that with Arsenal? Like again, I'm just saying when we're saying you'll be hard pressed to find bad signings
next season.
No, I understand that, but look, the way this works is we have to give. We can't just do. I can't just turn around and go, I think Ipswich Town are going to win the Premier League next year, and go, yeah, it's just my prediction. Like it doesn't quite work like that. But I'm just asking what Arsenal have done. Again, the hyperbole from the Arsenal fans of how shit they are is purely because they've not taken that leap in 3 years from second to first. Other clubs looking at Arsenal, surely we have to look at them and go, they are consistently the second best team in England. For the last 3 years at the moment, right? Last year, second, the year before second, this year, currently second. They're the second best team in the country for 3 years now. So when people are going, I think they'll just drop off. I think I've got a right to say, well,
yeah, no, okay, all right. But then, okay, football does tend to go in 4-year cycles, no? Would we all agree on that?
It depends, man. These days, you
don't. I know, but that's what I'm saying. Generally, it goes in like 4-year cycles. I just think that if Arsenal don't win it this year, then I think next year. I mean, when you look at them, they've not been played very well this year at all.
Who's that?
They're still second.
Well, but they're second.
Yeah, because of how well because obviously Saka, Odegaard, Saliba. If any of those three leave or are injured, their recruitment is not good enough.
Van Dijk, Alexander-Arnold, Mo Salah. Your best three players are up in the air as to whether or not they're going to be Liverpool players next year.
There's lots of things that you could attest to that. Like in terms of, for all we know, I'm not saying this is true, but as an example, it could just have been. Arne Slot said, "Well, don't give them a new contract. They're all on like 2 of them are on 350 grand a week. One of them's on 200 and wants more." I'm not saying, but that he might have said.
We're talking about on-pitch performance here. Forget the zeros on their paycheck. We're talking about on-pitch.
If you lose those three,
but then you look at it. You've got to look at the age profile as well with Van Dijk and Salah.
If you lose all three, right? Are Liverpool? Simple question, and I've really got to go in a minute. I've got another streak.
Yeah.
If you lose all three, how much weaker are Liverpool Football Club if you lose the best centre half in Europe, Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold?
Okay, if they replace them with 3 players of the like
It's not why I asked.
Okay, Yeah, but we're going to replace those players, aren't we? We're going to replace those players if they leave.
There's no Mo Salahs out there. There's no.
Okay, right. So to fit in the system, these would be the three at any cost. I would say would negate those losses. I generally think Bastoni into Milan. If we got him to replace, I genuinely think that yes, okay, he's not as good a defender as Van Dijk, but he's one of the best in the world. I think if you replace Trent with Frimpong, for example, because we don't need the passing range of Trent, so to speak.
That's not the question. I feel like we're going around. If you lose those three, who are arguably your three best footballers, how much weaker are Liverpool?
We're going to be a lot weaker, but we're not just going to replace them with nobody, are we?
No, but you can't replace Van Dijk with a player of the same ilk. There isn't another Van Dijk out there.
Still replace a centre back with a centre back because he's first choice.
Yes, but it won't be Virgil van Dijk.
It won't. So, like I say, if it's Bastoni.
No, but hang on. But that's like me saying, well, we replaced Harry Kane with Dominic Solanke. Doesn't mean anything. He's not Harry Kane.
Because Bastoni's closer to Van Dijk than Solanke is to Kane, is he not?
Bastoni is not going to Liverpool. I hate to break it to you. Bastoni.
I'm saying about the quality of football.
Again, Bastoni plays in a back three, does a very particular role.
But I'm just talking about the quality of the player.
Who replaces Salah?
He's nowhere near Van Dijk.
Give me 5 centre-halves that are anywhere near as good as Van Dijk.
Attainable.
Murillo.
There's not many. Murillo is one of them.
Murillo, new contract.
Yeah, this season he's one of them. What about?
Well, you're not going to get him a contract.
Virgil van Dijk turns around hypothetically on the last day of the season.
There's no release clause either.
I am walking away. Who are 5 candidates that can replace Van Dijk to the point where you go, all right, he's not Van Dijk, but he's bloody good.
Right. Okay. So just anyone, yeah. So I think could.
Left-sided centre back. Remember.
Well, they don't necessarily have to be left-sided, do they?
No, go on. Just any centre back. We
can do the left. All right. So just I can name 4 off the top of my head that I would consider: Bastoni, Gahey, Saliba, Gabriel.
Gahey.
Who? Right. Hang on. Who was that? Hang on. Bastoni.
What? Yeah.
You said Bastoni. Right. Bastoni. Plays in a back three. He's an Inter Milan boy. You're not getting him. Next.
Said Gahey. Plays in the back
three. Saliba, Gabriel.
Gabriel's at Arsenal. He's not going to Liverpool.
But you just said name a player who's good enough.
No, you're not listening to
Maldini, bro. Just Maldini.
You're not listening to the question. The question is, name players that Liverpool can go out and get and replace Van Dijk with that is nearly as good as Van Dijk. And Gabriel is not leaving Arsenal to go to Liverpool. Bastoni's not going to leave Inter Milan. Guehi's a good player, but he's not Van Dijk, is he? Like,
no, he's not Van Dijk. I said you're not going to get a Van Dijk.
So now your defense is considerably weaker. Who else?
Well, we only need 1 centre back. I don't need to name more than 1. So let's just say put Gahey in the same system.
But do you see what I mean? You guys, we're talking about replacing top world-class footballers. It's not that simple.
That was good.
You couldn't even get Murillo out of Forest.
What?
You couldn't even get Murillo out of Forest.
Unless they do what they did with Southampton. Unless they put January. Could do it with a good bid, though. If they decide to
Bastoni, you're not getting Gabriel.
You're absolutely deluded.
If they want 8 million,
get Murillo out of Forest.
Do you reckon though, Wolfie? If they did put up an 80 million bid, something similar to what they did with Van Dijk,
it needs to be big money. You're talking 80, 90, 100 mil.
But I wouldn't put it past Liverpool.
Liverpool don't do that, bro. Liverpool don't do that.
A lot of money.
Yeah, but we bid 100. We did bid over 100 million for Casado.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're looking to get rid of
Nuno, we did buy Van Dijk for 75. I mean, don't get me wrong, that was only because they were offset against the Coutinho transfer.
I hear that.
Can I make the point about Murillo versus Van Dijk as well? But by the way, Murillo's one of my favourite centre-halves in the Premier League.
He's wicked,
but
man.
Virgil van Dijk isn't just a centre-back, is he? Virgil van Dijk is the leader. Virgil van Dijk is the guy that says, give me the ball at the back. I will bring it out. I will control everything. Murillo's a centre-half who, from what I've seen, he is your defensive destroyer. He's on everything.
No.
Mate, listen, we'll pick this up next week. Yeah, but not. We'll pick this up next week.
He's inexperienced. He's inexperienced.
I've got a stream starting in 4 minutes.
All right, take it easy. Thanks, boys.
Guys and girls, right, the link I'm putting in right now is for Big Up. If anyone would like to follow me over there, we're going to do Chelsea versus Wolves. I'll be there in the next 60 seconds. Please go and subscribe to Never a Foul. I believe that those boys are chasing down 40K. Is that right, Kaz?
Nah, just put it to 50K, man. We're like 17,000 away, something 17 point whatever. 40.
You'll have it tomorrow.
I want the. You know what it is? I'm so obsessed with the half mark. The half mark.
Okay, so
big up.
They're chasing down 40 to 50,000, guys. Please go and subscribe to Never a Foul. Please subscribe to Liverpool's Red 83, and please subscribe to Forest Fan TV. Big up to get that stinking fraud Arteta out of my club who has just put in a super sticker. Thank you so much for that. I love that name. And Ant has said, for F's sake, who cares which club has the most money and most fans? I love my club. End of. Now grow up. Oh, Anne, I love you so much.
It's probably aiming that at me.
Thanks, guys. We'll be back next week where we'll have some more debates. Hopefully, Nottingham Forest would have lost the game by then. Hopefully, someone's knocked Liverpool down a peg or two. And who knows, my club might beat Leicester City. I doubt it, though. Take care, everyone. See you later. Levy out and out. And as always, come on, you Spurs.